April 12, 1975. Fall of Phnom Penh. The Khmer Rouge seizes power. April 30th, 1975. Fall of Saigon. The United States Embassy is evacuated. May 1975. Start of tensions between Cambodia and Vietnam. China and the USSR fight for control of Southeast Asia through their respective allies. July 17, 1975. The Apollo-Soyuz space mission underlines the U.S.-Soviet policy of détente. August 1st, 1975. Signature of the Helsinki Accords to try to calm East-West tensions. December 19, 1975. The East German soldier Werner Weinhold deserts to the west, killing 2 border guards during his escape. December 20th, 1975. The GDR demands the extradition of Weinhold to answer for the double murder. Bonn refuses. December 21st, 1975. Border guards are on high alert on both sides of the Iron Curtain.
And Germany is again at war. Hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to Wargame European Escalation. It's good to have you here for the very first campaign in Wargame history. Welcome back, everyone.
Tension is at its peak between the 2 Germanys. Border guards have reported a skirmish in the area of Grafhorst. West German intelligence has detected movement from Panzerausbildungsregiment 19 not far from the border. The Panzer Brigade 2 is put on alert. Border guards have confirmed a violation of the territory of the Federal Republic by the East Germans. The Chancellery in Bonn declares a state of war.
1975, the earliest Wargame campaign to date, with the invasion of West Germany from East Germany. Welcome everyone to Bruder gegen Bruder, otherwise known as Brother versus Brother. Let's get into it then. Here we go.
Major enemy infiltration in the area of Grafhorst. At least 1 mechanized battalion. Armored units have been spotted crossing the Iron Curtain at the crossing point. A border guard patrol group has reported being under enemy fire. It sounds like they need help.
And we better get up there right away. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click or tap that like button. Let's get her up over 2,000 likes for the initial missions and campaigns and wonderful game, which was the Wargame series. Of course, European Escalation led to Air-Land Battle, which then led to Wargame Red Dragon. This game, much different than Wargame Red Dragon. In fact, some missions actually required you to complete things to get bonus stars to unlock units. So even in multiplayer, you wouldn't have access to all the vehicles that you normally would if you were to just pick it up and start playing multiplayer. Without further ado, then, let's get started. If you want to pause at any time and read those tutorials, feel welcome to do so. We're going to steam up to the front of the battlefield then with our Leopard 1A1 tanks, as we're in command of Panzer Brigade 2, and we're going to crush some East German tanks that have illegally crossed the border and have invaded West Germany. Wow, those tanks look awfully nice. I've actually driven this Leo 1 before. The chassis is very responsive, and actually, if you look down below in the description, you can see my Instagram of all different tanks that I've driven, and this one is a very responsive tank that is very, very fun to drive. Much better than the T-34-85 that is about to crush here. Of course, that tank from World War II. This one being built in the 70s to take on these types of tanks. 1 German tank destroyed already. East German tank taking a good hit. We'll see some routing here very soon as this tank continues to take fire. Either it's going to rout or explode, and that's one thing that is very important in European Escalation, is that routing is extremely, extremely important. You can already see this tank starting to leave, as I had mentioned, which basically means that if you come under a prolonged amount of artillery fire or fire in general, your vehicles or the enemy's vehicles will start to vacate the battlefield, and it makes it a lot more difficult to fight. We're going to eliminate the enemy breakthrough in Charlie sector, which means we have some more tanks on the bridge. So let's continue to push across. Our Leo 1A1s will fire on the move, I believe. Or actually, they can't. They don't have a stabilizer for it. So let's see if they can crush those 2 T-34s remaining on the bridge. We see 2 T-34-85Ms as our BGS forces push up. German infantry here, recon, pushing back from the border crossing, where M113s were eliminated from the initial push of T-34-85. Smoldering wrecks of those tanks, and they're about to increase in number here as 1 more tank destroyed. A BTR-80 on the bridge as well, And another T-34 destroyed. Mission accomplished then on that initial mission. We're going to take cover here up in the swamp. This game lacks so many features that Air-Land Battle and Wargame Red Dragon had, like, for example, reversing tanks. Simply just reversing with the tank is nearly impossible in this game. You have no air support. There's no aircraft, no ships to support you. So if you come up to a T-34-85, not a problem with the Leopard 1A1, but if it becomes a T-80U, you got a big problem on your hand. ATGMs, anti-tank guided missiles, are extremely important in this game, but you're still lucky to hit something. A T-80U can block your entire advance and turn your tanks backwards if you are not careful. In other words, the whole of your army can be under full retreat if you're not able to penetrate their armor, that type of thing. So tank-on-tank battles are much more important in this game, much more RNG-based, which means if you have 10 tanks versus for example, an Abrams, it could crush all of them depending on how things happen. All right, we have our Kurz here, which is a recon unit. We're going to bring that up and start looking at what the East Germans have on the other side of this tree line. So we're hiding in the swamp for now. And one really cool thing about this game is whenever vehicles move through the woods, for example, you can really see, or rather the farm fields, you'll be able to see them dig out trails. So look at that. Our armor, you can barely see it, but watch when we come out from this other side of the swamp. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Here comes our West German recon unit, looking for East German units now. You can see the wonderful Iron Cross on this side, and you can see how we're starting to crush the crops here as we push forward. It'll be more prominent when we have multiple tanks. We see multiple T-34s here, so let's push up to this edge of the field. We see one on the other side of the Iron Curtain, and again, for those of you wanting me to zoom in, this is going to be the game to do it. There is the border of East and West Germany. Almost looks like the Berlin Wall here, as the East Germans have pushed across into West Germany on those bridges. We now got to push them back to the other side. Let's bring up recon just a little closer, just to keep an eye on those German forces. We'll keep recon with the tanks just in case. And look at that. Wonderful. Look at those farm fields getting all dug up by the tanks. That is awesome. All right, T-34-85s yet again. Leopard 1A1s are lined up for firing. Firing line here, firing some rounds down range. T-34 hit there and smoking, and they're trying to flee. Looks like they might be trying to go back to East Germany or try to get a little closer. Oh, that was a critical impact. 2 tanks destroyed there. Fantastic. All right, another T-34-85 there is getting a little anxious. Looks like it might be trying to move towards the road to move fast towards us. It looks like our forces were able to destroy BTR-60s, it looks like. And looks like another T-34 destroyed on the other side of the bridge. Very good. That means we're going to be seeing some East German infantry now, so we need to be very cautious about that. Another enemy tank destroyed. Good job, boys. All right, let's bring the tanks up, and let's bring the recon up, too. Let's go up to that crossroad here, and it looks like we need to continue to push back NVA forces. What is that? The North Vietnamese Army? No, it's actually the East German forces there. There's a abbreviation for that, and I can't quite remember what it is. But for those of you who know, comment down below in that comment section. This game is fantastic. Of course, this was the successor to Ruse, and then the predecessor to Air-Land Battle and Red Dragon, and they really did a fantastic job of bringing what people liked the most about this game to the sequels, and then leaving some things behind or adding features that they really enjoyed to it. I love the art style of this game, just like the architecture, I guess I should say, of all the East German and West German vehicles, all the homes. It's very, very detailed. Look at that. You can zoom in to see literally like a door handle on a house, or you can zoom out to see the satellite view where you can see clouds and everything like that. This game just has an immense amount of features and art like that. Just really, really nice. And I miss it because in Red Dragon, it's all, you know, Chinese and Japanese type structures, and it's interesting to play as East Germany versus, for example, like West Germany while you're battling in Japan. It just doesn't make sense. So it feels refreshing to come back to the old battlefields, but I will say that this is probably the most difficult of the Wargame series. It is an extremely difficult game, and even if you're a Wargame Red Dragon or Air-Land Battle Pro, you're still going to be finding some things about this one that are challenging. All right, our recon is proceeding to the forest here. They want us to push back the enemy. I don't see any enemy in here. We got basically right up on top of them, and we still don't see them. So let's proceed. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we're targeting. Those look. Oh, those are actually T-55s. The 20mm of the Kurz is engaging, and East German T-55s are taking hits in the side. Oh, very nice. One of them's already destroyed. I've been on that tank before for sure. They can't even see us. Our Leopard 1A1s have snuck up on them. And there goes the other one. Fantastic. All right, good. Let's proceed forward and see if there's any other enemy forces inside that forest. And hopefully no one else comes across the bridge. It doesn't look like they were able to get across. But again, there might be infantry around based on these two BMPs, or BTR 80s, 60s rather. Oh, here we are. There's the BTRs right now. The Germans call them the SPW 60PB. But let's go ahead and circle. Let's go left, 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 left. There we go. Just roll over that way. Let's line up and get ready to shoot at these guys. All right, stop. Okay, good. All right. Oh, we've got infantry coming. Looks like 30 infantry coming out of the woods. And what's interesting in Wargame European Escalation is that they carry grenades as well that they can actually use against infantry or tanks in the woods. All those transports have been destroyed. Tanks now switching to HE. Look at those infantry move through the fields and the forest like that. That was cool. Taking 20mm hits. Oh my goodness, they're going to be absolutely decimated. You can see they're carrying MPIKs, RPG-7s, and RGD grenades, and it looks like they're now starting to hightail it out of here. It looks like their success didn't work. Now keep your eye at the very top of the screen. You can see additional information for all of these battles during the campaign about secondary side things that are happening. For example, we receiving reinforcements or, you know, information about the governments doing some sort of a negotiation or whatnot. T-55 spotted here coming down the road again. We better eliminate that vehicle. They got very close, but they haven't yet actually hit us yet. We're getting lucky. All right, this tank is now probably panicked because our shells have been landing awfully close. And let's see if we can finish off this T-55 that's tried to counter us while our backs were turned. It is routing now. Fantastic. Look at all the shells that have hit there. We got to keep an eye on that tank. He tried to escape there into the obscure bushes, but we finally got him. Good job. All right, let's stay put for just a second. Looks like Jupiter trucks are arriving. Additional supplies. Let's put them in the tree line here. Let's bring our tanks and Kurs close by, but we'll keep an eye on that road. In the meantime, we do have the ability to call out additional tanks. We have the ability to call out Leopard 1A4s. You can see that they have different types of stabilizers and optics, that type of thing. We're going to call out Leo 1A4s. I'm also going to call up a recon unit, too. I want to call up a, let's see, the Lukes, which is a very fast-moving recon unit. We'll keep them with that. And we'll bring up another supply truck, too, so we can resupply all of our units. We're now providing ammunition and fuel to our Kurs, but as you can see, in this game, we're not allowed to designate what type of supply they get. In Red Dragon or Air-Land Battle, you're able to designate whether it's spare parts for repairs or fuel or ammunition. Here, it's just supply in general. It looks like there's a call for an immediate ceasefire. Washington and Moscow refuse to intervene at the moment. So it is literally East versus West Germany. On the border of the Iron Curtain, we've now been given authorization to invade East Germany. Destroy the NVA's HQ set up at the checkpoint. All right, as soon as our vehicles arrive, then we'll do that. Looks like our supply vehicles are out of supply. So let's go ahead and keep them on this side of the river. And we'll create a little makeshift fob over there. For example, in Wargame Red Dragon as well, you're able to take supply from a fob, a forward operating base, and resupply, for example, a helicopter, which then can land next to trucks that can bring supply to the front lines. It might be a little more dangerous to bring tanks and troops closer to a helicopter. So, you know, if you land a helicopter out in the field, you can bring trucks to it and then bring it to the front line. You can't do that in this game. They haven't yet implemented that. This is like 2012, 2013? No, maybe even 2010. I can't actually remember. But let's get ready to cross the bridge. We're going to bring up our tanks first. We know we're going to immediately engage the enemy. They're just on the other side here. They have a checkpoint over here. And one thing that's incredibly cool of this game is something I haven't seen in any other game is that they actually put the names of villages up above large populous points. So, like for example, villages and small cities, that might pop up as an actual name, and that's really cool. All right, let's get the Lukes and the Kurs ready to go across. Looks like we're refueling as needed. All right, we'll send across the Leos, and the recon will fall behind just because we don't want to take any sort of fire. All right, let's see what's on the other side of this river. Now, of course, you're doing this for an additional star, and you can 3-star every mission, though I don't know if we'll do that in these campaigns. I'll try to get 3 stars on every single mission that we have in order to just kind of try to feel like we fully complete them. However, some of them are so incredibly difficult that it might not even be worth the attempt. Let's keep our supplies up here and see what we can keep with our tanks. Looks like our Lukes are already engaging, and so are our Leos, and it looks like enemy vehicles are being hit immediately. Light recon vehicles here, SPW-40 PAs, and transports over here. Oh no, there are more recon vehicles, and recon infantry might be pushing up here. That might be what they're sticking with. Let's see, could that be Grenzer? I think that's the only East German infantry I remember. Where are those damn recon? All right, our Kurs is up here, Lukes. Let's push up a little bit. Tanks are blocking the main road and the side. Autocannons are going out. Grenzer, it is Grenzer. Down to 14. These are extremely deadly units. Very accurate, very skilled. We're suppressing them with our autocannon there. I don't think it's going to be enough. 20mm flying out at those troops. Keep the HE shells flying, boys. There they come through the trees. There we go. That's what we needed. Some HE rounds to stun and gun. 1A4s have just decimated an entire squad. Very good. And one man remains. A rogue soldier on the run. Alright, finished off. Good job. Looks like there's only enemy recon remaining. Let's have the 1A4 engage that. Intelligence confirms partial rupture of enemy communications, it seemed to have said. I'm not quite sure. Throughout these campaigns, though, I would encourage someone to go back and timestamp all of those messages and write them down below in the comment section. And if you do, I will heart your comment because there's so much going on. Sometimes you don't have time to read all the side things going on. We're going to push forward with our supply trucks away from the checkpoint. And as you can see here, wow, we actually destroyed the tower there. There must have been a shootout as we came across with the guards. There's an enemy FOB in front of us, a forward operating base. We can capture that and resupply our vehicles, so let's do that. Let's actually have our tanks and such push up towards that. We have our Lukes and Kurs on the flank. The Lukes is a very nice vehicle for fighting infantry. It's motorized, so it's a lot faster, meaning mechanized has tracks, but it's a little slower. Looks like we found another unit. Perfect, some more recon, very good. 20mm RH-202, engaging that, as well as the machine gun there that are very good for dealing with infantry in combo. There must be one more vehicle around that we haven't yet eliminated. Let's have our Lukes cut across, find that last tank. There it is. Very good. Alright, that wasn't a tank per se, just a vehicle in general. But alright, let's stop all of our vehicles here within the resupply line. Let's get our trucks resupplied. They can come up behind us. Let's resupply all of our vehicles as soon as possible. Let's see, 105 out of 105 for the L7A3, 105mm is what these tanks are firing. Looks like we're fully armed and fully refueled. All right, let's cross the bridge again. We'll proceed back to the intersection, and those Jupiter trucks can join us a little bit later. We've now crossed into East German territory, so we've counter-invaded. Very interesting. All right, tanks are proceeding. Look at that tank grouping. Panzergruppen moving out there. Look at that. Very wonderful. I didn't appreciate this game as much as I should have until now. The beauty of European Escalation and Air-Land Battle and Wargame, they all have their pluses and minuses, things that I like and things that I dislike. But I've got to say that it's really the game that I was hoping for all my life, really. You know, for example, Men of War Assault Squad offers a lot of realism for World War II that Company Heroes might not offer. And a game like World in Conflict, for example, provides a wonderfully magnificent story, but didn't allow you to have all these different types of vehicles. You know, it let you have a light, medium, and heavy tank, and that was it. But in European Escalation, the limits, and well, they're almost endless until they even top themselves during Air-Land Battle, and then they top themselves again in Red Dragon. So I don't know where else they could go in the Wargame series. But it's definitely a series that I like being a part of, and where I really started to grow on the channel. All right, I'm going to bring the Lukes and the 1A4s out in the open fields. There's going to be a lot more fire that we might take from enemy transports, tanks, infantry, whatnot, as we go into this next part of the battle. So now we're tasked with recapturing Grafhorst and destroying enemies' bridgehead in that sector. They might have a lot more armor here, and we've been seeing more infantry, so we need to be on the lookout for it. So let's have the Kurs go this way. I guess the Lukes is going to be with the 1A4s. So let's move over this way. We definitely want to keep that recon back. ATGM or a random tank shell or something could hit that, and that's going to be a bad time. We finally have ourselves a first ATGM launcher. This is a BMP-1, SP-1, that has the Malyuka ATGM on it, and is basically a shape charge that could easily destroy our tanks, though it's probably a lot harder to hit our tanks than it is actually to blow our tanks up. Let's see if we can finish off this tank over here. And that tank is getting ready to fire. SP-1 is getting ready to shoot. Oh, no, actually, it's not firing its ATGM, but its main gun. Interesting. It only has a heat round on it. I think an 83mm heat round, something along those lines. All right, Germans are pushing in here. 1A4s are kind of waiting. I'm going to bring these out into the field now. Bring up our Lukes, see if we can find out where the rest of the enemy is. They're alerted to our presence now and are starting to attack in good numbers. We see some recon and troop transports, so they may be bringing over infantry. Let's bring our Kurs to some sort of a cover and bring our Leos up. And let's do the same over here with the Leos on this side. Oh, there we go. ATGM about to fire. There we are, our first ATGM of the game. There it goes. It's going quick. Whoa, that's a fast mover. Alright, now if it hits our tanks, that's lucky, but it usually doesn't, and becomes harder as the transport becomes under fire. The crew is now worried, and as I mentioned before, routing is a big thing in this game as well. BMP firing over here. We might actually see one of these, oh, nope, too far. I love how the ATGMs move in this game. You never get to see them move like that. Wow, we actually got hit by a T-55. Very nice. Finally, the East Germans landing their first hit. Congratulations, but you've only scratched the surface of our wonderful tank army. All right, let's eliminate that T-55 there. We're worried. And we have a fuel leak, but we should be able to keep those T-55s under constant pressure. There we go. One of them hit. Come on, Lukes. You got to be able to spot these guys. There we go. We're under fire, but we need to keep them spotted for the tanks. There we go. There goes one T-55. And recon eliminated. No problem. All right, let's continue to advance on the left. Get up to that tree line, and we'll flank the enemy with our other tanks. Taking them head-on was basically our way of trying to distract them as the tanks on the left are moving up. Interesting. Tank have Romulan cloak here, too. Beautiful. All right, now, of course, if we have any tanks that are damaged, you can easily do this without taking any sort of damage. I kind of did it on purpose to see what the T-55's damage would be. Actually, pretty good. Pretty capable of scratching our tanks. Some of our tanks damaged and have a fuel leak, so we'll stop for repairs, which will show you a little bit more of how the Jupiter trucks work. We'll go ahead and resupply over here at this, what looks to be a, I don't know, facility of some sort, farming area. Let's go over this way. Exposing our side armor, but we're okay. We're going to try to climb up over here on the north side and see if we can engage the Germans, East Germans from the north. We're going to quickly repair ourselves and then push right into the city. Then we could have some more recon around, which is why the Lukes is good, because it'll be able to outmaneuver enemy recon. T-34-85 is coming up to the west now. And Leo's in a good position to engage. Nicely done. Good, let's roadblock that city. And motor chutes in there. Luke's able to spot those. Luke's actually had a very difficult time spotting some of those T-55s, even though it was up front. There we go. Of course, these vehicles have 360 degree of... God, I love... Look at that trail that it's blazing. That is just incredible. Recon unit there eliminated. Look at that. I love just seeing it crush all that. Look at that. God, that is so cool. You just don't see a lot of farm fields in Red Dragon, but you do in air-land battle. All right, these tanks are fully rearmed and fully repaired. That's very good. We got that last one to go, and then we're good. All right, the East Germans are pretty much dealt with. Let's push in on the city, and let's move north with the Kurs. We'll see if the Lukes can spot anything else. I doubt there's anything else here to deal with us. Enemy forces are pretty much done for. Leo 1A4s are coming in to tighten the noose. That's going to be it. We've got them surrounded. The bridge is cut off. No more reinforcements coming in, and nobody's getting out of here alive. All right, Kurs, come on up over this way. There must be like a BMP or something remaining, possibly some infantry. We've closed in on the city quite effectively. Not even losing a unit. That's awesome. Oh, ATGM firing. Oh, it's a recon. It's infantry. Pull back, boys. It's enemy infantry in the tree line. Wow, we didn't even see them with the Lukes. You can see why recon is always still important, but sometimes you just can't even see the enemy. They were firing from here. Let's get some HE rounds on them. All right, let's fire into that tree line. I was expecting to see a transport or something over here, but good thing we have the Kurs nearby. There they are. All right, MGs are opening up. MG3. Mode shoot and engage from all corners. That's over. Incredible. Final shootout with enemy squads there that were waiting. Look at how close we had to get with the recon just to spot them. It's a good thing we found them with the tanks instead of the recon, because recon could have been destroyed by an easy shot of a, what, 83 millimeter or 82, whatever they have for RPGs.
The resistance at Oberstfelde has contained the first assault, but NVA mechanized columns managed to break through at other points.
All right. The war between East and West Germany continues here in 1975 for Wargame European Escalation. Again, be aggressive about showing your support for this wonderful series, because I'm still looking for more ideas to do in European Escalation and air-land battle, aside from just playing through the campaigns. Eventually, we'll win and run out of campaigns to do, so hopefully there's much more to bring back for you sometime soon. All right, you can see our time there, number of units, the skills that have been unlocked too. I think kill, yeah, there you go. Experience, wow, some reaching combat level 4, 2, and 3 for some of those M1 or A1 Sorry, 1 A4s. Very good. And all the units that they've destroyed. Wow, 1 Leopard. Look at that. Wow, all the vehicles destroyed by this guy. Fleagle's group had a fantastic day. Kamerad as well, destroying a Schutzen group for that recon. Very nice. All right, well, that's it for today. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and check out the playlist for more European Escalation and go back and see how I did when I first started playing to today. It's a very big change. You'll be surprised. So take a trip down history lane, and I'll see you next time for more Wargame European Escalation. Bye, everyone.